I'll make sure that I save the moment for you, and so will be my speech. Thank you again for inviting me. Thank you for such kind word of introduction. At this time, please allow me to say good morning to the President and to the Board of the Trustees, faculty, staff, family, friend, and most importantly, the graduate of the class 2018. I'm truly honored and humbled to stand here to share a few words with you on your very special day of graduation. When I was asked to speak here today, to be honest with you, I didn't know what to say. But I did my homework, and I reviewed many commencement speech, and I realized that even though I'm speaking to you right now, you won't even be able to remember any of my words that I'm going to share with you. But I'm grateful I was given the opportunity to share my experience with you. So, what do I want to share with you today? Well, it will be a story of a young man inspired by his mother, all step of the way, who has come from very far away to stand before you today. And what that story is about Brad. Hounkpati is my last name. I'm from Togo, and in a very small country in West Africa. And why I want to talk about my mother. She inspired me so much, and she wanted to have 5 children. Why? I don't know, but I do know that I'm the firstborn. So after me, she got 3 other sons. Please don't be sad, because the next might make you feel really sad, but don't be. After a few years, the first brother of mine passed away. So did the second and the third. Sticking to her goal, my mom continued, and later she had 2 twin boys and another boy. Few years later, these 3 brothers of mine passed away. It could be a little bit sad, but after taking a break, my mom continued, and today she is proudly a mother of 5, like she expected. 3 boys and 2 girls. So I know from the beginning it could be quite impossible, but she did achieve her goal anyway. Despite her struggle and challenges, she didn't give up. And having spent this moment with my mother, I grew up with the spirit of dedication and perseverance. Given what we went through, I wanted to be independent from my mother and my parents at early age, and also be in the non-profit sector to help other people, helping my community. Because I do believe, or if I paraphrase, Kalu, what are things that we do to others remain our legacy. As independent student, a high school student, I used to grow sugarcane for a living and also pay for my tuition. That's how I used to do it. But something happened in my field. In my sugarcane, I will come in the morning and see some of my sugarcane will fall just down. And I realized that there are some black beetle called sugarcane beetle eating the roots and causing important damage to my crops. But I really don't know how to control these enemies, if I may call them that way. And as I realized that I want more money to pay for my tuition, take care of myself, and help my mother become quite impossible, I made up and I took it upon myself to become an agricultural engineer. Well, it was quite surprising that after 4 years of study, strangely, I was offered to go in another institution and do my research over there for 2 years. So I went to the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture in Benin. After nearly 2 years, my advisor and I were so proud to have discovered for the first time in Africa a new species of beetle. But besides such happy finding, there was another challenge. We don't have any kind of insect taxonomy expertise locally to identify what we collected. So we have to send all the specimens to Belgium. I was sitting in the office. Every day I will look at my boss. There's no way around that I can get the hand on what I collected by myself. I wait for 9 months before getting the identification report, which was badly needed for the defense of my master thesis. But the impossible happened, and I got that thing done. You could think that a guy who is in the farm couldn't control the same bugs. He was offered to study exactly the same group of insect that called for a vocation, that called for a passion, that called for something else that I didn't even realize. So, let me just remind you just a little bit. What is insect taxonomy? Insect taxonomy or taxonomists are those scientists who describe, identify insect biodiversity. In Africa, as I speak today, there's no institution where I can get that training I was hoping to get. So, because that is lacking, I want to become insect taxonomist. But again, there's no place, no teacher to put me in a class and teach me how to do that. After a few months, a friend of mine needed badly my help, but his project will cost me all the money I had at the time, but I did accept to assist him anyway. As we are about to finish his project, I found out that Peace Corps Togo is looking for somebody who knew about agriculture, entomology, insect pest control management, reforestation. I turned in my application and I was later hired. During the course of my work at Peace Corps, we always talked about my dream becoming insect taxonomist. And one day, my boss, Dr. Gabriel Turker, told me, "Brady, you know what? Your story, I think you could qualify for Fulbright scholarship program." I said, I can, because I already speak 6 other languages, and I don't speak English. How can I go to America? He said, "You can do it, just give it a try." I turned in an application. Thanks to the public affairs session of the US Embassy, I took the same class many of you may have taken here, ESL class. I took DRE and TOEFL test 3 times before I can get the competitive score to be admitted to the US university. Bingo. Once I'm in US, I faced the same challenges that you all faced. How can I cope when my mother is far away? My brother, my wife, and everybody else, I'm only alone in this country. So I built up on myself new coping strategies, which today are serving not only Fulbright fellows, international students, and also immigrants coming to this country. And these same strategies were the guiding principle that led me to create my first nonprofit, Grain de Sel Togo Incorporated, which is by far the first African initiative of this kind, and providing scholarship to needy students in sub-Saharan Africa, and also assisting any participant of exchange program from the US Department of State. I couldn't dream of that, but it is happening. And I don't know. And this organization is currently operating in the US, France, and Togo. So in a few months, like I said earlier, I'm going to be a doctor in insect taxonomy. And I do many other things that I don't want to talk about today because I need to be brief. And from the story I just shared with you briefly, I learned something that I wanted to share with you. Number 1, it doesn't matter how many obstacles, challenges that you face. Try to strategize and use all the difficulties as opportunities. And if you do, you will learn, you will discover, you will build, and you will thank yourself in the future. It really doesn't matter how many times you fail. Just keep trying until you succeed. And yes, it doesn't matter how long it will take you to reach your goal. Keep pushing. And if you pursue your dreams with conviction, you will not only achieve them, but you will also get all you want out of your life. From the beginning of my story, I'm gonna make a very big point here. I also collected the biggest insect in the world. And you guess what? It is my wife. It is in the field while I was collecting bugs that I met also the lady who now is my wife and the mother of our children. And that's all I wanted done. I don't need anything else. So remember this. Impossible is just a word. It is not a certainty. And it is often whatever we think it is. And if I may offer any advice today, I will say this. Be always grateful. And don't give up when things become harder and harder. That is often a sign that you are very close to your target. And be open and don't be too shy. Go to your fellows, to your elders, and listen to them. Take advice and continue. And put smile on people's face all the way if you can. And lastly, don't forget, impossible is just a word. It doesn't mean anything. And I hope that you will find some strength and courage in the few words that I share with you. Again, congratulations to the class 2018. Thank you.
I want to